Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today is a book that I found at Second and Charles. One of the reasons I really like going there is because with the used book section, I stumble into a lot of books that I've not heard of through any of the venues that I pay attention to what's going on in comics through. This was one of them. Most of the time they work out to be pretty good buys. Sometimes you get some duds, but this one I'm definitely really glad I picked up. One of the things I'll do is if it's a big hardcover book, I assume someone thought, well, that's really good. We got to make it big in hardcover. So I'll grab it, and maybe that's a weird criteria, but it usually works for me. I looked at the art in this one and thought it looked good. And so I grabbed it, and I'm really glad I did because it's a real emotional gut punch of a book. I'm assuming it's got to be autobiographical, even though it's not presented that way. The artist's name is Espé, and it's by Graphic Mundi. Never heard of the artist or the publisher, but it's a great book. I'm assuming it's a translation from French because the setting is in France and the characters are French. I have a real hard time thinking that this could be anything other than mild autobiography, at least, because it just doesn't seem like someone could write as honestly about the situation in this book if they hadn't gone through it. But it's not presented like autobiography. It's a bunch of short little clips, and I like that. There's not a lot of exposition, or any exposition there is in the book is kind of like the character talking in word balloons. It's not captions everywhere. So the premise is Bastien, the character here, 8-year-old kid, his mother has bipolar disorder and schizophrenic tendencies. And it's just a bunch of like short little stories. They all have a title, Teeth, or whatever. The Parakeet being the second to last, the penultimate story. I was reading through it kind of wondering why the book was titled The Parakeet. And there's a really good gut punch emotional reason why. I'll leave that out of the review. But there's a lot of these just really carefully observed, emotionally charged moments where Bastien is describing what it's like to have a mother and what it's like to live in a family with someone who's struggling with real mental issues. So he's talking about mom's been into most of the institutions in Southwest France and names them off, and then says, I wonder if she's earning points on a rewards card or something. Maybe one day she'll bring me a fun prize. So there's just like these little almost throwaway lines like that. Well, I don't want to say throwaway, but there's so many of them, but they're so painful to read. This one in particular, he's talking about the fact that his grandpa had wanted his mom to get an abortion, and they didn't, so his parents were forced to get married. And he's saying those family photos are awful. And he says, I think that if Grandpa had gotten what he wanted, Mama wouldn't have gotten sick because of me. And combined with the drawing of like the aborted baby with the little fetus tail, and that kind of self-blame of a child for his mother's diagnosis is like, that's the kind of where you just oof, like you just say holy shit while you're reading it. So that's pretty much like a good indication of what the book is. I don't want to give away too many of those. I'll show a couple other ones that I liked. But that's the type of story this is. So this one, he's talking about he loves comic books and he loves Wolverine, and he really likes he thinks it's cool how they put the metal into Wolverine to make him stronger. And then he's learning about his mom going through electroshock therapy, so you can see he's kind of imagining his mom going through some process like Wolverine, and thinks maybe Mama's a superhero. And they don't even have to put like electroshock up there. The artist trusts the reader to be smart enough that he's imagining his mom in that way, and the whole book works that way. They really don't over explain anything. This is some of the type of art that I saw when I was flipping through it. This nice cartoony stuff, but also the ability to draw really rich, detailed scenes that I thought, this looks like it's probably a pretty high quality product, even though I know nothing about it. So, showing some of the days where his mother's feeling well, um, and showing a lot of things where the family is dealing with that, like the father still loving the mother, but the absolute the emotional strain on someone of having a partner that's like that, and then the grandparents having a daughter like that, and Bastien having a mother like that. So this is a scene where it's like a social worker doctor comes in, basically checking on the mother to make sure that she's not running a scam on her employer, that she needs to be out of work. And he's saying, yeah, I see a lot of people that say they have depression, but they're perfectly capable of working. And he's real skeptical of her diagnosis, and she has like a legit episode in front of him, and he realizes her diagnosis is absolutely legitimate, and he's commiserating with the father, and just be strong, Mr. Laporte, be strong. Yeah, I can't imagine living like that, and like I think most people would check out. Here's a moment that I thought, like, man, to have a mother like that, the things you'd be exposed to. So they take Bastien to visit mother at one of the facilities she's in, and he sees a guy urinating on his mom's room's door, and he tells her, "Oh, I'm watering your portal so it will grow." It's just like, I can't imagine how that would affect you as a kid. And this is the last one I'll show. I don't want to get too close to the end of the book, but another one of those like little two sentences that really punches home an idea. On TV, they say that drug addicts take lots of things to get high. Mama's the opposite. She takes lots of strange things to try and stay down here with us. So, worried about all the pills that his mom takes. I don't even know when this came out. I should have checked. It seems pretty recent. But I would assume this book's still available. There's not even a publication date on here. I would assume, oh, here we go. 2017. So, well, this is copyright 2021. So I think the original one was 2017. So this must have come out this year, 2020, 2021. So I would imagine this would still be available to get, and I would highly recommend this to everyone. It's a nice, well, not nice, it's not fun, but it's a good peek into a situation that most of us haven't been exposed to. And it's not overbearing in the way that some stories like this are, that it's not overly expositional or anything like that. It really just lays it out. Here's my experience, and hits you with those moments that are just like a one-liner, I think stories like this, that's the best thing they can do, is come up with those little phrases like, most people take drugs to get high, my mom takes them to stay down here with us. That kind of stuff is what really drives this kind of message across so effectively in my mind. And I think this book is, yeah, just absolutely wonderful. Thanks for joining along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.